Hello there, and welcome back to Empower Your Soul. I'm so excited today because I want to talk to you all about living mediumship. Yep, that's right. I want to talk to you about living mediumship. And I think we all know that mediumship with living people tends to happen a little bit more as folks are nearing the phase of death. And I think this is something you've probably heard from me. You've probably heard from a lot of those lovely hospice nurses over on social media. And it is very common for people who are in and out of consciousness later in life, closer to passing, for them to kind of have one foot in the physical world, one foot in the spiritual world. We have to have a funny name for that, everybody. Like half in, half out. They're not committed to either place. um, and I think it's such a rad idea. And those of you that are mediums, I'm sure you've seen it happen. And if you haven't seen it happen yet, I'm sure it will happen soon to you because we're having this conversation and you're listening to this right now. And I love it. And I really, really love it because I think there is a lot of healing and closure that can happen as someone is nearing passing. And a lot of clients that come to me wondering, can they do more? Can they make them more comfortable? What can I do for them? And I think those are lovely, lovely conversations for people to hear. But I'm not going to talk about that today. I don't want to talk about the people that are close to passing. I want to talk about the people that are nowhere near close to passing and what happens when they come through in a mediumship reading. Because if you're anything like me, spirit will always push the envelope of the possible with me and make it so interesting in the way that they prove that what we know is this minuscule amount, and there's so much more to the spirit world, spirit communication, mediumship than we could ever fathom. And all we have to do is dream it to be possible, and it will be possible. I think that's the most interesting thing about this. So let's talk about living mediumship, okay? And this isn't the first time I've encountered this. This has actually happened several times. Actually, right from the very beginning. I have to really rewind back for a moment here because this happened right from the beginning of my metaphysical journey. Because at the very beginning of my metaphysical journey, do I go there? I'm pausing. I'm like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to really put myself out on a limb here and put my crazy on full display for all of you. At the very beginning of my spiritual journey, my spiritual awakening, I was at the stage where I was not talking to my parents. I had still cut them off. And there was a lot of healing that I need to do for me in order to let them in. It was a me problem. And so in one of the readings I had very, very early on, this excellent practitioner who I 100% believe trusts that what she said was coming through, she indicated that my father was coming through, who was nowhere near dead, by the way, still alive. And she was able to read him, give loving, unconditional messages to me from him, and allow me to see him from a totally different perspective. And hey, Dad, if you're listening to this, is this weird yet? I have to go here. And no, she wasn't connecting psychically because the things that he said in this reading, I don't think he would ever say in this lifetime. I do feel like it was true and it came from his soul 100%. But that actually created so much healing for me in my spiritual journey and allowed me to really have space and accept a different type of relationship with them here in the physical world, knowing that who they are on the other side as a soul is totally different. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about living mediumship, because you can tap into the souls of your living loved ones to get love, perspective, guidance, and healing. And this is a tool I kind of have kept in my back pocket for a very long time. I don't advertise that I do this because what we do is a little crazy enough already. And so the idea of living mediumship, I've kind of personally kept a little bit under wraps. But it has been an amazing tool for me for my own healing with my immediate family. from with my parents, it has been amazing for me because I tap into the higher self of my children. And I'm like, how do you want me to handle this? What do you want me to do about you? What am I supposed to do to guide you? Right? And they come in as souls to kind of laugh about the circumstances, which is always fun, and to give me guidance and love on what to do about them. I don't do it very much because I think there's a reason that we're here in the physical world. I think there's a reason that we're here with free will and needing to make bad decisions to learn. So I don't tap into them all the time, but I will tap into them when I'm at my wit's end and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? You tell me what you need from me and I'll do whatever you need to do. And so so living mediumship, it's a thing, right? It's a thing. And I think it's even more wild because spirit not only likes to test my limits in this ability, but they also do this with my students in my beginners mediumship classes. And I'm not even joking about this because, and I think I may have mentioned this at some point on the podcast, because in the last class of our beginners mediumship class, probably a couple iterations ago, I pulled through a living cat that this woman had in my class. And in my head, it was a dead cat. This is, I got the evidence of who it was, got the personality, and I'm like, it's for you. And I'm pointing to one of my students. I'm like, I know this cat is for you. And she's like, I don't have a cat like that's dead. I have a cat that's still alive like that. And I'm like, oh my God, spirit, I'm going to kill you. This is like literally the MO of what they give me 24/7. It's just very confusing, right? I think I expect it, and then they'll throw something else. They'll throw another wrench into my giant toolbox, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do with this. There's no basis for this. I don't know anyone else that does living mediumship. Why? But we proceeded to read the cat, and the cat came through in this reading because the cat ate, this is hilarious, too many treats. And it's like its regular dietary supply of food was actually just a whole bunch of treats. So as we all know, as people who just snack all the time, right? Eating ice cream all day long will eventually kill you. And so that's essentially what this cat was coming through to say. It's like, I know I love treats. If you want me to live longer, you're going to have to start feeding me good food because I'm on my path to an expedited passing. So this cat came through to tell its owner, to tell my student, feed me healthy food. I want to live longer with you. Isn't that just wild? Isn't that just wild? And like, you can't deny the evidence. It's not like I even know, number one, that she had a cat. Never mind, I was trying to pick up on the psychic energy of the cat. I had no idea. And so this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about living mediumship is you can use these tools in mediumship to tap into the souls of your departed loved ones. You can talk to your higher self. Why can't you talk to your friends and loved ones' higher selves? Right? Doesn't it make so much sense? Doesn't it make so much sense? And so this is just another amazing tool that us as mediums can use in our toolbox to enable the healing, the connections, the resolving of guilt and trauma here in this lifetime so that you can remove the layers of energy and sadness and depression that don't serve us. I think it's a really cool tool. As I really think about this, and Spirit's in my ear giving me this idea as well, because it's such a cool tool to separate out what is best. Let me see if I can phrase this. What is best for our highest selves and the highest selves of our loved ones versus what are the systems and the customs that we are, I'm going to use the word victims of here in the physical world that make it much harder to, I think, act in a soul-aligned way because the systems in place shun or frown on some of the things our soul would really want to do here in this physical world. Because our souls come from unconditional love. Our souls come from wanting the highest and best good for us and everyone around us. They want us to overcome obstacles. They want us to heal and be our best selves on this journey here in the physical world. And sometimes our ego and the systems that construct our ego get in the way. And isn't this an amazing tool for us to circumvent these systemic flaws and allow us to clearly see the path that is for the highest and best selves for our relationships with our significant others in this lifetime? And so if you are ever wondering, and maybe this is like the end of this little quickie, if you are ever wondering if you should be tapping into the souls of your departed loved ones, the answer is a resounding yes. And you don't have to tell them, like, you don't have to do this. And I think what's cool is when you get to level 2 in at least Usui Reiki, they teach you the distance Reiki symbol. What is it? Hashizen. I can't even say it. It's been a very long time. Hashizen Shonen, I think it is. And that allows you to tap into the higher selves of people you were giving distance Reiki on and ask their higher selves, is it okay if you receive this healing? Are you accepting of this healing that I'm about to give you from a Reiki perspective? And from day one of Reiki, learning that, yeah, I heard yes and no from the higher selves of my kids, right? As I send them distance Reiki to them in the middle of their school day. So this is what I'm talking about. You can tap into the higher selves, ask for guidance, ask for love, ask for support, ask about past lives, ask about potential futures. And they'll give you what you're meant to know at this time. So if you're looking for a really fun, unique way to overcome some of these hurdles you're facing in these lives with these people, with these loved ones that maybe you're having not the easiest connections with, tap into their higher selves. If they want to talk to you, they'll talk to you. If they don't, you won't. And then you can also use, for those of you that are maybe a little less versed in the modes of spiritual communication, you can use tarot cards. You can, here, I'll do it right now while we're live on the air. I'm going to ask for a card from my daughter who's homesick with me yet again. I feel like this has been the year she's been sick 24/7. I'm going to ask for a card from her higher self to me on what I need to know today. You can, while this is coming, oh God. Oh, yep. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the card that popped out was Death. Always a great card. I think it's amazing for my daughter too, because she's like a mini me. She's a drama queen. She's big energy, big empath, all of these different things. And the card, I think we all know what death is, like coming to the end of a cycle and coming into a new cycle, right? Death and rebirth. And so like she's 9 years old. She's on the beginning of being a tween and puberty and all these different things. So I love this because she is so overly emotional about everything. And like, as I'm tapping into her higher self here as you're listening to this, she's asking me to give her more grace, give her more love. Just let her be who she is with these big emotions, but just let me always be that safe space for her to land on, even if she doesn't need advice or support. Like, even if she doesn't need me physically fixing the problem, just be that safe space for her to kind of put her energy on and take it from her, because she doesn't know how to process all of it. And that is definitely true today. I mean, she didn't know how to process being sick today at all, because she's been sick 24/7. So, I mean, so you can use a tarot card, you can use a pendulum, you can, to tap into your higher self, is this for the highest and best good of this person, right? You can use dowsing rods if you want. Oh, I could go down the rabbit hole on dowsing rods. I won't. But you can really just set the intention to tap into the higher selves of these loved ones using all of your metaphysical tools and say, what do you need? What do you want me to know? How do you want me to address this situation? And then you can do that. Isn't that so cool? Isn't that so cool? I love it. So stay tuned as I maybe learn more and maybe do a class or something on living mediumship, because I think it's such a tool that I was unaware is a tool we should be using. Should I say it that way? And it was just really interesting because once I had that conversation with another medium about how I use living mediumship and like, is this a thing? She's like, yeah, it's totally a thing. And I was like, what? And I think this gets to maybe the second point of this, community. Because I think all of us tend to do things the way we've been taught, or do things the way that we need, way that others expect us, maybe clients expect us to. And I think what's going to be so cool in the next 10, 15, 20 years and beyond is this opening up of these other metaphysical modalities that we don't even know are coming at. Like, I see all these books on these shelves behind me. We have no idea what's coming in the future with all of these metaphysical modalities. So when spirit like drops a nugget on you, like a living cat coming through in a mediumship demonstration with your students, I tend to breeze over that and be like, that was wrong, spirit. Don't do that again. Because that's the kind of person I am. Because I'm a data person. I'm a rules person, right? And instead of pausing and being like, that was interesting, tell me more, which is maybe where my curious brain should start going when I'm having these experiences, being more curious, because what they're doing is giving you a sneak peek into the future. They're giving you new modalities, new ways of communicating and working with spirit that are going to open up and help more and more people. And so embrace these gifts that spirit is giving you and talk about it. Like, open it up in the community. See if someone else has experienced this, because everyone keeps all of these unique things hush in this industry. And we don't talk about a lot of these like really interesting, unique things that happen to us because we already feel a little crazy. And I say that with love, because if you talk to any medium, we are all making this up. Everything that comes out of my brain, we are making it up. So there you go. That's where I'm going to end it today. Living mediumship, it's a thing. Be on the lookout for it. And if you have any questions, toss them my way, podcast@mediumnicole.com. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.